Hey, I'm gonna just be 100 with you, man. I'm gonna just tell you the truth, man. Right now, we're in harvest season, and they're harvesting spirits right now. You see, a lot of people, we listen to the preacher and stuff, and the preacher said, "Well, you better protect your soul," and all this stuff there. No, you see, once you become separated or you leave this physical, the soul goes on to something else, but your spirit still holds who you truly are. You see, this meat suit is not who you are. You are your spirit. This is just the vehicle. But the driver, that's the spirit. And your spirit radiates from the meat suit often. But your spirit is who you truly are. And if you've been a wicked person, if you've never forgiven yourself, or you're holding grudges, and you're not a decent person at all, oh, they're going to feed off of you. They're harvesting right now. This is what's going on in the world right now. This is why they turned this world into a cesspool, because they knew the end of the season was coming, and they knew we're heading into the golden age, and their food supply was going to get low. Because when we step into the golden age, you're going to become upright and moral people again. You will have an understanding. You're going to see. You will be enlightened on the wicked things that man has done, and you will no longer do these things. But they're like, man, we're not going to have too many spirits, man. So we need to do these hurricanes, and we need to do these all kinds of tragedies, create these big tragedies, so they can get many at a time. They're trying to just gather as many spirits as possible. Because when they get you down there, because believe me, you've seen shadow people before. Don't play games. But there are these other shadow people, and they're going to come and they're going to grab you. I'm not trying to preach fear. I'm just telling you, these doggone things will come and grab you, and they will take you down onto the doggone their masters. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a master of lust. You have a master of vanity. One of the masters is vanity. One of the masters is gluttony. One of the masters is depression. They're going to come and grab you, and they're going to take you down there so you continue to be fed on. This is why it's important for you to shed, to push all those negative things and forgive yourself for the dumb things that you have done, and change your ways, because they're going to feed on you. This is harvest season. I'm going to keep saying this. Now, we used to have a system that they changed into religion, but this system was devised for you to meet up with other people who had like minds. And it was a system that was set up, put it this way, I'm gonna just be 100 about it. It used to be a time when people used to go to church. And they went to church to not only for enlightenment, but they went to church to maintain their morality. And the people would come together and they would police one another, being like, put it this way, they would make sure that you stood on your square and that you were a moral person, because they understood that your morality affected the rest of society. This is why the mother would be like, "Look, little girl, you're not going out this house wearing that." And then the neighbor would be like, "Where you think you going wearing that? Do your mama know you got that on?" And then people down the street in town, they would look at you like, what's wrong with so-and-so? Are you all right? Why are you wearing that? Because we looked out for each other's morality. And we had a book that spoke about morality, and it spoke about the times when people weren't moral. So you can have an understanding, hey, well, maybe I don't want to go down that route because that's what happened to so-and-so, so-and-so. Us being upright and being decent people will save this doggone thing. And at the very least, it's going to save you. We keep giving everything away. See, even I myself, I do not mess with the church because there are not many people who think like I do. But imagine if us, because really we don't need the church, because we're there wherever there's three or more, there is church. So really we don't need the building. But what if we did have the building, and we use the building to store goods that people need in the neighborhood? You took care of your own neighborhood. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blind to this here. All people who go to church aren't good. Because heck, man, believe me, there were some people who used to go to church. And yeah, you know I got to put myself in there. You know, there were some people who used to go to church just so they can so they can buy their bus ticket to travel 2 towns over to watch the next lynching in church. So all church people ain't good people, and you know this. But what I'm saying is that, man, instead of being a bad person in the church, why not be a good person? And see, man, and there used to be a time when you had orders. Orders. Right. Listen, you had orders and you had to live in line and you had to be on your square at all times. And the order made sure that you stayed a decent person and you stayed upright. This is how that used to work. Man, it's always somebody calling right when I'm saying something important. But yeah, see, here's the thing, people. Stop giving things away. The evil manipulators, they took you out of your orders, and then they turned around and stepped into the orders that they got from you. And then now they've created a system that they use against you. And then they demonize the order to you. And then you got to others be like, oh man, the Masons, they bad people. I ain't gonna join them. The Masonic order is set up for you. It originally was set up for you to create your own government within your own community. And you conduct yourself as a government. And you work together. And then whenever you had your powwows, you would be like, okay, well, it's time for this order on this side of town to have a meeting with the order on the other side of town, because we're having a problem. The youth over there are having a problem with the youth over here. So we need to sit down, a gathering of the elders, and we need to speak about this here. The gentlemen and the ladies and gentlemen. You would have balls, and you would ask all the surrounding brothers and sisters to come and participate in the ball. And you carried yourself in a decent manner, not getting drunk in public, not using profanity in public, being upright, being a better person. And then you could also, then here's the thing. This is why they had this thing called the anti-Masonic party, or the anti-Mason party. What was this, in the late 1800s? They were destroying the Masonic order because the people who wanted to manipulate and take full control over the government, they knew that you and your party, your club, was a doggone government within itself. And you were able to meet in secret and to discuss the things that you were not going to allow. And then you had other beings who were standing in order with you, and then you were able to go down to the office and order certain things or demand certain things, because you had brothers who also worked down there in the office. And see, when I was talking about the church, man, look, the church could be used for a place where we store all the goods for the people who need it within the neighborhood. That's how it was originally. When you paid tithes unto the church, that was money that went on buying bread, that went on buying diapers, that went on buying food, money for in case of an emergency. You didn't have to go beg somebody, and when you ran into the emergency, you went to the church. But they changed the system. They changed the whole meaning of tithing. So now look at us. Look at us today. Really think about this here. In the 50s, 60s, and the early 70s, you were not allowed, most of these women that you see today, you were not allowed to bring them to your house. Your parents wouldn't allow it. Not your brother, not your mother, not your uncles, not your cousins. Most of these young men, how they carry themselves today, they wouldn't have been allowed to stand in front of your house. Because we're like, this guy, who is he? Who's he affiliated with? Who's his family? And they let him come out in public out of order like that. And I could see, he smelled like he'd been smoking something. And he looked inebriated. No, get off of my property. When we turned our back on this thing that man calls the church, we became less moral people. And we became part of the cesspool. Sesame Street. having all becoming characters instead of becoming doggone decent people. I know many of you have had bad experiences in the church, but you don't burn down the church. If you got a bad person in your house, you kick that person out your house. You don't burn your house down. If you're part of the Masonic order, you kick the bad people out. The doggone evil things that are done in the name of the Masonic order, get them out of there. They doing this here to demonize you, to stop you from getting in order, from organizing yourself so that you may have power. We became out of organized because we have no organizations. Everybody's out here like free willy. Nothing's getting done. The Masonic order, the Rosicrucian order, the Illuminati does not belong to the evil ones. There are branches of the Illuminati such as the White Brotherhood. They are of the Illuminati, and they have taken their oath and they have placed their names on the dotted line to bring forth light onto humanity and to bring humanity together. Did you know that? Oh, you say you ain't ever met an Illuminati member like that? Are you sure? Are you sure you never met somebody who put their name on the dotted line to bring forth light onto the humanity and to bring people together and to give people the understanding of self? Are you sure you never met anyone like that? This is your man, L. Judge. I'm out.